From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From childhood's hour, I have not. Oh God! I ruined it. Hang on. Okay. My sorrow, I could not awaken. My heart to joy. You know, fuck it, dude. Ruined. Fucking ruined. And the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon, in my view. When we last left Poop, he had descended into the lair. He had heard tales from his village of Minotaur. The elder in his village wondered if the tales were true. Could there really be a place full of cursed, disgusting, grotesque, mutated creatures like an enormous Komodo dragon, mutagenic rats? Poop realized, surely that must be the case. He pressed on, bleeding from every orifice. He wondered, how the fuck did I almost just die to a fucking Komodo dragon? But he didn't. That's what's important. He huddled against the wall. He checked his food rations. More rats skittered after him, the sound of their disgusting clawed feet scraping the ground. What seemed like an hour passed before he pulled himself to his feet. He's like 8 feet tall or some shit, however tall minotaurs are, chat. A crocodile, a spiny frog. He wondered, why the fuck am I fighting them out in the open where they can surround me? And then he realized it's because he has balls of steel, chat. He ain't never scared. He killed them all with the help of his god. As he traipsed down the corridor to an open space, he saw, out of the corner of his eyes, a 5-headed hydra, which by far was certainly the most deadly creature he'd encountered yet. He checked his bag quickly. He only had a split moment. He realized he didn't have any of the things that his elders had said would ruin a hydra's existence. He realized if he fought this thing, he would die. Absolutely 100% would die every time. He heard tell from one of the local villagers after the tale that his elder had told had been completed. They said, our elder is wrong. If you chop off the hydra's heads, more will be produced, making it even deadlier than it had been before. He had to run. There was no other way. He quickly read a scroll of teleportation. One wondered how a disgusting beast such as he ever learned how to read, let alone magic. But he did. Around the corner, he found some yaks. One might wonder why there were yaks this far underground. They would never receive an answer. He realized he had to fight them. For there was no other way. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to be. Only forward. He killed them all. He left the flesh that he'd rended with his bare hands upon the ground. He realized if he were to encounter the Hydra again, he would have to use the last scroll of teleportation that he had to his name, leaving him vulnerable, scared. More yaks. He retreated. His phone went off quite loudly. He once more prayed to his god, The Hydra, it returns. He realized he could use these yaks to attempt to slay the Hydra, using them as a shield. He shot a bolt of acid that pierced the first yak. It cried out in agony and made the noise that yaks make. And then realized acid was not very effective against Hydras, with the last yak serving as a buffer between he and the disgusting Hydra that loomed overhead. He ran, taking the yak with him. Having dragged it by the horns and slammed it upon the ground, he finished it off. Another Komodo dragon. He would not make the same mistake. To his god he prays again, but he does not hear him. Once more does he pray. Okawari was in the bathroom, he realized. Even gods had to relieve themselves, chat. He ate the Komodo dragon's flesh. He couldn't recall the last time he ate an actual meal. Between the bee jelly and the flesh, it was all he knew. More beasts, more praying. He grew bolder, abusing the powers that his god gave him flippantly. He wondered, would there ever be a recompense for such recklessness? He prayed again, because he's scared, like some kind of bitch. The wyvern slain, the giant frog slain. More. He ate the giant frog, whole this time. Disregard the chunks of flesh that were clearly on the ground. He wondered, what could all of these potions be? Perhaps he should try drinking some of them, potentially ruining his life. Oh, it's a scroll of noise. He read the scroll foolishly, attracting beasts from all corners of these reaches of the lair. He recalled that the ringmail he possessed served doubly as a means of protecting himself from poison, and he recalled from the tales about his village that all of the beasts in the lair possess some form of poisoning those foolish enough to traipse amongst its depths. More yaks. It is as though there's some sort of yak colony. That makes no sense. Why would yaks live this far underground? I don't know anything about yaks. A wand of flame. It's trash. Wand of paralysis. We can replace the one we've used already. A griffin. Tails. And spoken of the... Oh, it's a hippogriff. Oh god, another fucking Hydra. Jesus Christ. Oh. He ran like a pussy, away from the Hydra, for he knew that there was another Hydra right there, and he had completely forgotten. There was another way down, he realized, that he did not recall. He was pretty fucking boned. He clicked back into the game, and he realized, hey, that progresses the game by one turn. And the Hydra moved beyond the yak, and is now directly beside him, making escape no longer an option downstairs. He had to read the scroll of teleportation. Or perhaps he could man the fuck up and try to kill the Hydra, chat. The one weakness that he did realize, actually, they're not even weak to magic. How could he prepare for this battle against the Hydra, chat? He did have a flail, but it was a dire flare, therefore too large to use with the shield. He prayed to his god once more, and was immediately destroyed by the Hydra. He wondered, would it even be worth swinging on this thing? A wand of paralysis, he realized, was his only way. He paralyzed the Hydra, which was resistant to magic. He killed the Hydra, And by the time he had, it had 12 heads flailing around, blood spurting everywhere. He arrested. This floor was now safe to travel. He wandered, aimlessly, it seemed. What sort of beast would he wander upon? He had a slice of pizza. Why? He charged the crocodile, swinging like some sort of madman, or mad cow, as it were. Sheep. More creatures that made no sense to be this low and far underground. These were less deadly than the axe, for they had no horns. Joseph. He had heard tales. Although, he had only heard that he looked like a mercenary. He charged. He got shot with a sling bullet for 20 damage for some fucking reason. Oh, the bullet was on fire, chat. He wasted his potion of resistance thinking that he would get mowed down before reaching Joseph, but however, he was juked soundly by the AI. He ripped his corpse apart. A teleport trap. That porcupine never stood a chance, although it's right here. He killed it. He grew stronger. His muscles bulged. Sir. Yes, sir. Once more into the breach. Another Hydra waits, chat. Lower he goes. He knew that as time progressed, as he slew these great beasts, the faith he possessed in his god grew stronger. And so, it was time to begin strengthening his devotion. He focused solely upon his piety. The Hydra, this one, 7-headed. He walked forward. The Hydra, irritated by his presence. It looked no different from its brother, save for, of course, the additional 2 heads that spat venom, that flailed like some sort of tentacle. It was time, he knew, to test his luck once more. He polymorphs it, because he's fucking dumb. It doesn't work. It doesn't work again. And again, the wand was dead. And perhaps he, too, was dead. He was super fucking dead. Or not. He teleported, but not far. The Hydra would be lurking. He cursed his luck and licked his wounds. Never before had he expected the most fearsome creature in the lair to surface not once but twice. He tried his luck at another entrance, another staircase, an escape. He may have to use that. The Hydra could be anywhere. A wand of hasting. He couldn't believe his luck. There it was. Once more, taunting him. Shot lightning at it for some reason. He thought it was a good idea when he did it, but only did it really piss it off. Again, the wand was dead. He tried the acid once more. Who knows why? He corroded the Hydra. Helpful. Again, the wand was dead. And perhaps so, too, was he. He hasted himself. There was only one way he could do this. He killed the Hydra, retreating tactfully while under the effects of the haste spell, only to shred and melt the Hydra's skin. He could feel the power granted to him by his god. He was lucky. He had wasted a very valuable resource, however. He did not know how much power remained within that wand. He would soon know. Porcupine. Child's play. He'd slain not one but two 12-headed Hydras. What had he to fear of this place? Nothing. A scroll of acquirement. He couldn't believe his luck. But what, he wondered as he prayed to his ancestors, would he pray for? He recalled his mother told him, the great sow that she was, "Son, should you come across a scroll of acquirement, you should ask, of course, for something miscellaneous." What was it? A deck of cards he would never use. He cursed his mother. She was always a bitch. He held on to them, however, and ate the wyvern, because that's what minotaurs do. More rats. And of course, Nergal, the great orc necromancer. He wondered, what chance did he stand now? He prayed to his god, to no avail. Once more, it worked. Empowered, surrounded, the haunting visage of fallen orcs staring him in the face, he swung and killed many rats. And one of the ghosts somehow, Nergal himself, stared him in the face. By this point, so frenzied was he, filled with his god's righteous fervor, did he swing again, 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 till he was dead, laying upon the ground like some sort of spit pig. He ripped his corpse apart and ate him. Carried on. A Komodo dragon. He was stronger now, stronger than he was before. Quick work was made. Another paralysis wand. Likely more useful than the one he'd failed to paralyze the Hydra with. A frog. It was as though the lair was taunting him by this point. A porcupine. He ate that too. It was like he was constantly hungry for some ungodly reason, as though time passed at a rate he himself did not understand fully. Wolves. Fanar. Now this was an elf he knew to fear. And quite possibly the least opportune space and spot to do battle. He swung. The wolves, he cut a path through them and charged. And swung again. Fanar cast some sort of spell that froze the nearby surroundings, nearly freezing Poop himself. Fanar blunk. He knew he was nearly done. And done he was. He ripped the corpse apart, as was custom by this point. But he did not eat him. It was almost as though he spoke. Spout isn't a word. He spitefully tore his corpse apart, a black mamba. Not very deadly considering his armor, however, it did not hurt to be prepared. Blood spat everywhere. A rhyme drake. He did not know what those were. He was frozen. No longer frozen. Snakes. A hydra. He knew what he had to do. He knew. He ran. And attempted once more to paralyze the great beast. It did not work. It did not work again. He decided to fight. Simpler now that his god remained on his side. Through the beast did he chop. 1, 2, and 3. He rested. Who knew how else the game would try to fuck him on level 3 of the lair? Some sort of trove of rats. Those corpses, he knew, were not safe to eat. Quickly did he scour the floor. His family was in danger. They needed the Orb of Zot. A great plague had spread, and only through the power that the Orb of Zot possessed did he ever stand a chance to save them. He was the strongest in his village. The most cunning. Minotaur he may be. Another scroll he did not recognize. It was a scroll of amnesia. A scroll of holy word. He probably should have saved that, instead of just trying to read it like some sort of fucking invalid. But read it did he. He ate more jelly. It was apparently delicious. He knew, with how open this space was, that surely he was in great danger. A forest. But why? Or rather, how? A forest underground? It made no sense. He wondered. Why? Surrounded. He swung, spinning himself about like some sort of mad cow. For he was not a man. He stood tall, 8 feet, perhaps even taller. Horns upon his head, cloven feet. And yet, here he was. A siren. He had heard tales of these. A beguiling merfolk whose voice can mesmerize listeners. She would lure him in, and tall as he may be, in that water would he drown. He was trapped. He heard her song. It was unlike anything else that he had ever heard in his short life. He could only walk forward now, to his death. In the water did he find himself. The siren immediately attacked. They enjoyed a weak prey. Partially snapped out of it as he was, he swang wildly. It was tough in the water, but he killed the witch, and so she was slain. He ripped her corpse apart and realized it was the shoals. Of course, that was their stomping ground after all. He wondered, in brief, what sort of powerful wizard, what sort of god filled this unholy place. The forest, what lays within. He heard a knocking on the other side of the door. He wondered, should he open the door? And so did he recall the advice that his younger brother gave him. His younger brother Of course, having been called Chet most affectionately by the inhabitants of his village. His brother was always stupid, bloodlusted, without any care or abandon to his own well-being. Poop prayed to his god and opened the door. A way out. He prepared for nothing, but in this cursed place it was always better to be prepared than dead. He pressed on. There was nothing left. Down he went. A blink frog. They do exactly what you might think they do. They are frogs that blink. Armored as he was, they were no issue. More an annoyance than anything. He killed them. A potion of heal wounds. Good. He needed something. He was low on resources. A shield. He had no need. A book. Once more, he had no need. Another Hydra. It was time. One HP. By what grace of God did he survive? There was nowhere to run. I lied. There was somewhere to run. A frog. He rested. Fortunate that he survived. The Hydra had seemed left behind, but now, fully healed as it was deadlier than ever. Jumping spiders. They're fucking gross. Not strong. I lied. They're actually pretty strong. Would they kill him? Would he die? He was close. The spiders were unpredictable. Yet again did it leap and catch him in its web. Again it leapt. He waited. It was all he could do. Except, of course, to blast it with some acid. He missed. He killed one. And another. Did he need to slay? He did. He headbutted it mid-jump, eviscerating its body, decimating its soul. He rested. The Hydra. He ran. For it was all he could do now. Down he went. Sheep. A welcome reprieve. He killed them all, without a second thought. A crocodile. Yaks. The horde never ended. And more importantly, the boulder beetle. Those, he knew, could ruin him. And so, he killed the lesser fodder with ease and waited. For he knew it would soon begin rolling like a boulder. But it didn't. Who knew why? He killed it. A pig. Okay. Not very threatening. Probably. Oh God. It was Kirk. He knew that perhaps he soon, as well, would become swine. Disgusting, four-legged swine wallowing in his own filth. As Kirk cackled. He knew it was too good to be true. Why would there just be pigs? No, these pigs, they were once men. Until they met Kirk. His wand of haste was empty. He could do naught but charge. He charged. Surrounded by the beast that Kirk summoned to her side, he was paralyzed by the Sphinx, set upon on all sides. Slowly did he begin to bleed from the holes ripped in his body. Dead and gone. His family failed. His village doomed. Kirk cackling. So lays here. Poop. The cleaver. Slowly did he press on.
All right.
I'm gay.
I'm playing full screen, I can read the message. Holy shit.